right. What's up, everybody? This your girl CC with WIB Magazine, and I got my co-host on the line. Hey, Mickey Monday, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, CC. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Tell
Nice.
us who we got on the line with us today. Who is the special guest?
Oh man, we got the infamous Amadeuz with us, the one and only. You know what I'm saying? Representing Shade 45 on XM Radio, Sirius Radio. So yeah, how's it going, brother?
Man, listen, I'm staying out the way, man. That's staying out the way. But thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all having me.
For sure, absolutely. So tell us a little more where you from and what you do on Shade 45.
Yeah, well, so I'm on the Lost Here special. I'm on Thursdays, 3 to 4. The mix I do is called the Drunk Mix. It's basically like a vintage edition of hip hop. So I don't necessarily play new records. I play records primarily from like the 90s and early 2000s, targeted into a very specific audience. And then I do production up there, guest bookings and stuff like that. A lot of people know me from my time as a film director, obviously, directed videos for Fetty Wap and Ice-T and people like that. And, some people saw me on National Geographic selling bootleg liquor. So, it all ties into the same thing because it's all revolved around hip hop.
Right. Okay. That's what's up. And then you also on some other radio stations too, right? Because you say you're up in Philly right now.
Yeah. So I got my own show called the Inphamus Hour, and it actually kind of happened like during quarantine. We were just trying to do something to, stay busy. And I ended up getting this deal with iHeartRadio to get my show syndicated. So I'm in Madison, Wisconsin on a WWMV 95.5 on Mondays. Tuesdays I'm in Monument, Colorado. Fridays I'm in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And then Sunday I'm in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And the unique thing about my show is I partnered with a company called Boom Bap Nation. We have over 2 million people on Facebook. We have like another 100,000. And we do the interviews live on Facebook. So we're able to bring like a dynamic experience. Facebook is different than Instagram because Facebook is more consumer based. It's not like IG where you're flooded with DJs and artists. These are just regular 9 to 5 working people, kind of like 30 and up. And we bring a celebrity every single week on Facebook. And I've been able to bring, everybody from Bone Thugs to 112 live on Facebook. And it's a great experience because the fans actually can jump on the Zoom call and ask a question themselves. So, they get to talk to people that they grew up listening to. And then we kind of take this audio and then we merge it into the FM radio show. So I guess throughout the quarantine, everything they went through, a blessing came out because we was able to bring new content to the audience, to the fans.
Yeah, that's lit. That's super lit.
Yes.
So I was gonna say, tell us what made you initially become a DJ and get started in that realm of music.
I mean, honestly, that shit really just happened by accident. So as I said earlier, I was on National Geographic, a show called Underworld Inc. At this time, I was a really like big film director in New York. As I mentioned, I shot Ice-T, Papoose, The Locks. I was shooting a bunch of videos. And I would have the nut. For those who don't know what a nutcracker is kind of like urban moonshine or like jungle juice. So it's pretty much like it's like a flavored drink that you could just buy in the streets. So obviously, liquor stores closed. I would just pump them out the trunk of my car on the video sets. I want video sets, 150 people, and it just started building. So National Geographic caught wind of it, and they profiled me on this show called Underworld Inc. And the guy that I work for at Sirius XM, he saw me on National Geographic. So he brought me up as a guest first. And then I got in filming. And then pretty much by the luck of the draw, I just taught myself how to DJ. I was already in the building. I've only been DJing for like 3 years. But, we got, we from the mud. So we got to get it by any means. You know what I'm saying? I saw opportunity for me to get my own slot on the show. And, I took time, I took a leap of faith, and here we are, you know what I'm saying? But, that shit was the best decision because it got me to, not only be on XM Radio, but the DJ in Madison Square Garden, which, people know that's like one of the biggest arenas in the world. And it's just been amazing, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Definitely. So what have been one of your greatest memories on 101.7?
In Massachusetts, well, what I like about that station is, you know, it's a small market station. So I've been able to bring, you know, like big names to, you know, that station in a town that may have like, you know, 100,000 people. Like, you know, for me to be able to get Bone Thugs to go up there, you know, Bone Thugs sold 75 million records. You know what I mean? So and the smaller FM stations, it's very intimate, it's very community based. You know what I mean? So being able to provide that type of interactive experience is dope. Not only there for all the stations, and then also giving back to the community, because the unsigned artists don't really have a platform. So we're able to shed light and just kind of build from the bottom and try to find the next talent.
I gotcha. I was gonna say, what has been one of your biggest challenges?
Wow. I think learning to DJ, because I just threw myself in the fire. So, you know, like I was promoting clubs, basically like on the side. And this is big DJ here in New York called DJ Self. He was on Love and Hip Hop, you know. Yeah. So he would DJ every night. He would get on at 2:30, he would get up at 3:30. And one day I just saw the security guard, he was like plugging an iPhone in at 3:30 in the morning. The clubs in New York close at 4. Right. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna teach myself how to DJ. So I just bought a laptop and I went in the booth with no experience. Just went in the booth, and it started from, you know, a little half hour, and then, you know, Self was like, yo, I'm gonna have you just open up for me. So then I just started opening up for him, and then I started opening up for Flex. And, you know, I did have an advantage though, because I was around, like, you know, Funkmaster Flex, around DJ Self, around Drewski, around DJ Camilo. These are some of the biggest DJs in the world, not only in New York. So being around them, I got to kind of learn quickly how to navigate with DJing. But I definitely think that DJing was definitely a challenge, because again, you're just going into an unknown realm and you're taking a leap of faith and just hoping that it all works out.
So basically, this was like one of your passions that you didn't even know about, because it just fell to you. Like you went in there and you was like, you just tried it and boom, like you automatically knew it.
Yeah, I saw a video of Will Smith when he was like bungee jumping or something. He was saying that, you know, on the other side of fear is reward, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you just never know what's on the other side unless you take the leap of faith. A lot of people they get comfortable. It's not only music; it's just daily life. You get comfortable with your job. You get comfortable with this and that. Sometimes you just got to take the leap of faith, and if you stay vigilant, it can work out for you.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, it's just because like being in the music industry, period, like as a music artist myself, there's so many people who try to do the same, you know, they do the same, they you know, they take up the same space, but it's like everybody has their own unique personality that makes them you. So I can tell just by how you know, your charisma, your personality, how you know, how you handle yourself, your presence, that you definitely were made to stand out. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I definitely appreciate that. To build off of what you're saying a little bit, I learned early on that when you're in a room, you got to make sure that you're the person that they won't eliminate. Mm-hmm. Because you got people in so many different spaces, right? So if I'm in a room full of DJs and a pandemic hit and they making budget cuts, right? They can eliminate a bunch of niggas, but I'll be one of the last people because I can film, because I can do marketing, because I have history as a publisher, because this and the third. So self-efficiency is the way to go, especially in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, they see the pandemic and all this and they get, this is the time to put your thinking cap on and learn some new trades and figure out how you're going to stay in these rooms. Because it's all about staying in the room. Companies are downsizing. Look, right now we on Zoom right now. You know what I mean? So communication is downsizing. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you just always on point and always learning new things.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in your tenure as a DJ, what was the most memorable gig you had that you can remember? Something that just you was at the point of like, just at the peak, and you were like, man, I can't even believe this is happening right now. I'm here. Like, this is actually real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo, Madison Square Garden.
That was okay.
That shit was crazy. Like when I got the call from the Knicks that they was interested in having me DJ the game. Yo, that was crazy. I'm from the Bronx, so you know what I mean. For people that don't live in New York, New York is like basically 5 boroughs, like counties in other states. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
New York is connected because the trains take everywhere. So I used to ride this same train to school. I used to ride this same train to the track. I used to, and I used to go watch like wrestling and just ice skating as a kid and basketball. Yo, to go to the Garden, honestly, I've done a lot of things, but there's nothing to describe that feeling because that arena was sold out. There was 21,000 people in there. Yo, and when they said my name, I just felt like I was by myself. I can't explain it. Like, I was just by myself at that moment. There was just nobody there, and it was just me and the music. You know what I'm saying? And it's just amazing that hip hop can do these type of things for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The culture of hip hop being dedicated and shit like that. And yo, the Garden, man, that shit was crazy. Yo, for the Knicks, that shit was crazy, man. That's definitely the moment for now until, hopefully, something else will happen. But right now, definitely that's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned downsizing too, like how everything's downsizing. How do you see the future of DJing as a whole? How do you see it going or trending in the next 5 years? Because everything's moving. Everything's moving to a digital standard.
Digital.
Yeah.
I think music in general. Music. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm in my late 30s, right? So music changes every 10 years. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? The one thing that we learned about the pandemic is that content sells. Period. Right? We're not really in a, it seems that it's like turn up, but it's not really about that. Like the people that are charting, the people that are doing numbers, look at something like Versus. Yo, these guys, they brought Patti LaBelle and what was Gladys Knight. You haven't heard of them in 40 years. You know what I'm saying? And they doing 1 million views. So DJs got to adapt. And with younger DJs, they make the mistake of just thinking that what they hear on the radio right now is what it is. Nah, you got to broaden your catalog. You got to have your arsenal. Because what happens when the turn up gets turned down?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? So definitely broaden the catalog and then also switching to completely digital. Digital is the way to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's over. Like that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like where we going a little bit.
Okay. And it's crazy. It's funny you mentioned that because I've been going off like the past 2 weekends celebrating people's birthdays. But one thing that I noticed that they don't do a lot like they used to anymore is they don't really play R&B a lot. Like when it start winding down, when it start getting closer to like, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, because the club closed at 2:30, 3 o'clock. So you know what I'm saying? They play now. I think like now they just play drill music until the club closed now. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I wish would come back because that that's what connected people. People would get up out their seats, start dancing.
Yeah.
People start dancing with one another.
I also think too. It depends on where you go because, like I was telling Cece, her name is Cece, right? I was telling her earlier that like when I was in Atlanta 7 times last year, booked the DJ, but they would book me to play that type of shit. They wouldn't book me to play drill music.
Right.
They would book me to play Soul for Real. They would book me to play the brunches. They would book me to play like 2000 Remy Ma and Harlem Shake shit and shit like that. So I do agree with you saying, we're kind of in a time where it's like, this is kind of like what the kids want to hear.
Yeah.
But the people that spend money are not children.
Right.
So, people that really spend money are not children. So I think we just got to kind of find a balance a little bit and also school these kids because these kids grew up in the 2000s. They were born in the 90s, 2000s. So they grew up in a household where they were listening to, T-Pain or like whatever was going on at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Late Jay-Z type of thing. But I do agree. We got to kind of bring that feeling back because we need it desperately. You know what I'm saying? Desperately we need it. Absolutely.
Definitely. So who do you think are some of your DJ legends?
Oh, Rock Raider. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rock Raider, but Rock Raider, he reinvented the way DJing was done with tricks on the turntables and these type of things. I also have an admiration for DJs that produce, like DJ Premier. You know what I mean? And then, you know, there are other DJs that, you know, you may not know are DJs. Like, for example, Q-Tip is a dope DJ.
Yeah.
From Tribe Called Quest. But you know, a combination of those three are definitely ways that, you know, one of the things that, you know, I gravitate towards with a DJ, how they just seamlessly change music, and you just kind of like in the same vibe. So, you know, you in a club or something, and the DJ's playing, you know, Lil Baby, and all of a sudden you put Mobb Deep on it, you feel the same way about it. You know what I mean? How it seamlessly transitions. But that's one of the things that attracts me to like a DJ, and I'm like, all right, dope. This guy got it figured out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Would you do a DJ battle?
I would, if it made sense.
Okay.
I would definitely do a DJ battle. I like DJing because I like entertaining the fans, and I like controlling the crowd. That's just me being natural as a musician, as a film director. You're almost like the conductor in a band, but you're in a club or you're on the radio. You know what I mean? So I would definitely do a DJ battle if it made sense and it was something that they were interested in.
Gotcha. Because I know, you know, when we first started this pandemic stuff and sitting in the house, a lot of people was doing DJ battles, but I don't see nobody doing them anymore. I just see, you know, they might go live every blue moon, but I don't see it anymore. It started off good, but
yeah. Well, you know, everybody was home at the same time, but once places started opening back up, you know, guys are trying to get back outside because they're trying to feed their families. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's very few people that are still on, but, you know, I would encourage people to continue to do that because, as you can see, life can change like this. So you got to be prepared for, you know, the what ifs.
I got you. So what's the next big thing for you? Once everything is back to normal, what's the next big thing for you for 2021?
Well, right now, of course, it's about Shade 45 and pushing the culture forward with Shade 45. I look forward to this new crop of lyricists that we have emerging, and what the potential new sound of hip hop may become. And of course, you know, Boom Bap Nation is just something that, you know, I'm excited to be a part of. It's something to have my hand in. You know, like I mentioned earlier, we have 2 million diehard hip hop fans, you know, just on one platform. We got a situation where Reach TV is like the cable company for international airports. So we're in there with like short clips of like what's going on with hip hop. And mainly it's just kind of just been the whole thing of just pushing the culture forward. Hopefully when things, you know, get back inside, I run a cypher on Sirius XM. Shade 45 on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, where I put 3 unsigned artists on the radio every single Wednesday. They rap to 90s beats. And I kind of look forward to getting back out there and finding some new talent.
Awesome. Well, I'll be sending some people your way.
Send them my way. Send them my way, definitely.
Gotcha.
For sure.
You heard that, Mickey Monday? I'm sending you his way.
Yeah, I heard him. I mean, I'm more of a writer than a freestyler, but I'll make it happen.
Nah, writing is cool. It's all an expression. Yeah. So you see, writing is expression. One of the main things that I did during the quarantine, I did something called the Punchline Academy during quarantine. So basically, I would have, and I'm gonna start it soon. I only stopped it because people were going back outside. But sometime next month, Punchline Academy will return. Basically, I have a cipher on my Instagram Thursday nights after I get off Facebook. It's open to all MCs. Come spit your bars, spit your poetry, sing your joints. We have judges, and then basically we do kind of like a friendly like sparring competition on Mondays. And then the winners of that they get to go on Shade 45.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, I was able to put 39 unsigned artists on the radio during the pandemic, which was amazing because we I always believe in paying it forward in a sense, and giving back at the same time, and that was something that I definitely look forward to doing. Once it gets a little colder and the people kind of like know where life is going, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, they're calling me. But once people know where things are going, we'll definitely be on deck for that.
Awesome. Congrats. That's a good platform.
The Punchline Academy. Follow it on Instagram. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into that and add you. So, excuse me, Imp, outside of like urban music, rap, hip hop, R&B, what's another favorite genre of music you like to listen to?
I enjoy jazz.
Ah.
Okay.
Like, see, like when I wake up in the morning, like look, I'm a 90s enthusiast, right? So I like Mobb Deep. I like I like the younger stuff too. I like everything, but I can't be in the morning listening to Megan Thee Stallion or, you know what I'm saying? I can't, first thing I wake up, I can't listen to, 50 Cent shooting a bunch of niggas, you know what I mean? So sometimes I like to get in the car and I like to just throw the jazz on. And definitely like the 70s soul music. It inspires me when I create music because, for the few engineers out there, the analog sound is different than digital. We can't replicate that sound of, them going in and actually playing the bass and playing the violin and playing the drums and then quintessentially running it through physical hardware instead of plugins. So jazz and that old Motown sound, that's where it's at in the morning. I'm in there.
So who's like one of your top jazz musicians? Or
Ooh. That's a good question.
I could tell you 3 and see if you might know.
That's a good question. Now Gil Scott-Heron, he wouldn't be considered like jazz, but he is kind of in the middle. Like him in particular, his sound is very like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, he's more like spoken word too.
But that's what I'm saying. It's different because it's like jazz, but it's like soul music. It's kind of like in the middle. And a lot of his stuff was live. A lot of people don't know. Like he was in the train stations and doing stuff like that. Yo, Gil Scott-Heron was super dope. You know what I'm saying? Who you got?
Okay. Shoot, off the top, I could say John Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Herbie Hancock.
I mean, come on, Herbie Hancock is like, that's like top 5 right there. That's automatic. You know what I'm saying? That's automatic.
And then Dave Brubeck.
Herbie Hancock, I mean, come on. His catalog, when you talk about catalog, his catalog is
it's
ridiculous.
great. Oh, and George Duke.
George Duke. I'm not familiar with George Duke stuff, but Herbie Hancock, I mean, that's clutch right there.
You talk about experimental. Him, George Duke, and Herbie Hancock are the 2 most experimental jazz musicians from that period, from like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Crazy. When you...
And you know what's crazy? Like they had a very defined audience in the 70s. That's like real Cotton Club type of, for the people, New York, or if you watch any movie like Cotton Club type of thing, that type of vibe. This is what liberated music. So what we hear today.
I was gonna say, oddly enough, Herbie Hancock did the soundtrack for Harlem Nights, and Harlem Nights had the Cotton Club in there.
See how it all ties in. You know what I mean? And this goes back to DJing because it's like, if you listen to like a lot of records that's coming out now, they're always sampling, right? Like Megan sampled the Eazy record. If you listen to Pop Smoke, rest in peace Pop Smoke, because Pop Smoke was about to change music again from drill into the R&B type of wave, and he was gonna start making guys rap again. I mean, people follow other guys, right?
Right.
So a lot of these sounds are created off of this conversation that we're talking about. That Harlem Nights vibe. That's all from that.
Right.
And DJ's got to be in tune with that type of thing. Because what if somebody sits down like, you know where that comes from? You look crazy. You don't know, like.
That's true.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, they'll check your car, pull your car quick.
They check your car crazy, like.
Right. So So, since you were DJing, you listen to music so much, man. What's one track that you play that never gets old, no matter how many times you hear it? Every time you hear it, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I can't wait to hear this one coming from you.
I think anything off of Illmatic.
Okay.
To me though, Keep Your Head Up, Tupac. That definitely like that type of vibe. He got a bunch of records. Pac is my favorite artist of all time. I can name 20 Tupac records. Who else? Well, that's a great question. I never really thought about that. A lot of R&B stuff though too. Like what's my joint? The Jodeci Freaking You remix with Ghostface and Raekwon.
That's my favorite.
That's timeless for me. Of course, Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, timeless. Candy Rain, So For Real, timeless.
Okay.
These type, because honestly, I could go in any club right now and play Candy Rain or This Is How We Do It, and it'll go at some point. Especially Candy Rain. Candy Rain will go. Like, they're one of the early Atlanta artists from the 90s. It'll go. I can go in any club right now, 3:30 at nighttime, bump that. Everybody in the club singing that shit.
Exactly. And I just say, you done threw us some gems today.
Thank you. Hopefully, what I hope for the younger audience, that they'll be able to look back at their generation and feel the same way as we do in this conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
man.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that. What do you think?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know, because we had some people on here interviewing that had some old soul in them. So it's just depending on the person and stuff. I see some people that can do it, but some people mindsets I don't see.
Like when my kids, because when I got the Shade 45, I was still one of them people that was all the way 90s, like just 90s. I didn't even listen to no new shit. Mm-hmm. And I had to, once I became a DJ, I said, you know what? I need to understand why they're listening to this. So I sat my kids down, and I quickly understood that this is my kids' version of hip hop. Just like you have your version of hip hop, I have my version of hip hop. And it's no one's place to judge what your interpretation of music is, right?
Right.
But you know, we often hear this thing about artists now saying, like, I own my masters. I want to own my masters. But we got to ask ourselves, as new artists, as OGs in the game, as DJs, as magazine personalities, what good is owning your masters if the music doesn't age well? Right? And we got to start injecting this into the youth, because we want them to look back the same way we just look back right now, like 20 years later, like, oh, yo, that joint can go with me when I'm 40 or 50 years old.
Right.
You know, hopefully they'll be able to say that.
Hopefully. But we got 2 trivia questions for you before we get off. Mickey Monday, you had anything else before we go into trivia? I know our time is limited.
No, I mean, Inf has been really good with the questions, you know what I'm saying? And he also threw some gems in there too, like you said. So, I'm ready to do the trivia question.
I know, right? Okay, so mine is, if you had to lose one of these, which one would it be? Your sight, hearing, or walking, and why?
If I had to lose one, sight, hearing, or walking, wow. I would say walking.
And why that one out of those 3?
Because your sight, you can still operate without walking. Your sight and your hearing, that eliminates a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sight and hearing are senses. You know what I mean? Walking is not really a sense.
Right.
So, we got 5, 6 senses. To lose, 1 or 2 of those can be catastrophic to how you interpret life on an everyday basis. Walking, we can compensate. For example, I'm in a car. I can go drive to DMV right now without walking. You know what I'm saying? So I can compensate walking. I'm not sure if we could compensate the other two.
Gotcha. Right answer.
That's deep.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mickey Monday.
So my question is, what was my question again? My question is, if you could pick a TV show to be your life, what show would it be?
A TV show that would be my life?
Yep.
Wow. That is my life, or I would want to be my life?
You would want to be your life.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. There's this show on Showtime called Ray Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen Ray Donovan, but that looks like a good life to live, because he's like a Hollywood fixer. So basically, he's the guy that fixes problems in Hollywood.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But he fixes problems, and he uses problems to get him to where he needs to go. And yeah, Ray Donovan, that looks like an interesting life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, just, you know, being rich, but being, you know, some sort of, like, you know, street etiquette and shit like that. I think Ray Donovan would be something that'll be a life worth having, if that's your cup of tea.
Gotcha. Well, before we get off, tell everybody where they can follow you.
Yo, follow me at the Inphamus Amadeuz. Listen to me on SiriusXM, Shade 45, every single Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Unsigned artists. If you got dope music, I have a new segment on Shade 45 called Imp's New Music Picks in 6 minutes. Each week I debut new records. So if you got some new heat, doesn't matter if it's boom bap, if it's, you know, the drill, turn up, I'll send them my way. If it sounds good, I may or may not get you on. And then also look out for my new album coming out any day now, the sequel. All right, it's a dope album. I put a lot of time and effort into this project. It's a lot of pain. It's personal. For those who know me as a musician, a lyricist, this is probably my best work to date. And I also, one of the things that I do on this project is I cover a lot of topics in real time, from election to some of the way that I may interpret life on a day-to-day basis, and I'll tell you some real personal stories of mine. So any day now, the sequel this month coming out.
Well, you gained a new fan here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Well, I want to say congrats on your journey. Stay grinding. Thanks for interviewing with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Definitely. And you'll be in the magazine. Actually, you'll be in the magazine that's coming out. So I'll definitely get that out to you once I'm complete with it.
Definitely get that out to me. Send me the video so we can post it on social media.
Gotcha. What you say, Mickey Monday?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying, you know, thanks again for being a part of this experience. I'm definitely going to link with you too, because I have a project coming out. Well, I have a single coming out next month on the 9th, and then I'm still working on my album, trying to get that completed. So
let me hear some right now. Right now. Let me hear some.
Oh man, you want to hear some? Say what I say. Dang.
That's what you always tell me. If
I know.
You get put on the spot.
Because that's what I'm saying. Because I usually don't get put on the spot. I let you know.
It's
what I'm saying.
time. You got 3 minutes.
All right. Forget it, man.
Let's do it.
Look. All right. Now I normally don't do this. I don't freestyle a lot. I'm just trying to make my way to the top, reach the pinnacle. Look at me different. You can see through the pinhole. I'm obvious when I'm rapping. You can't tell about him. He's a champion. Damn, my mind leaking like a faucet. I'm on it. So serious when I'm rapping. Who started? Me. Perfectly over the beat when I'm writing this here. No pen. Never mind when I'm fighting this. Man, I got to go and get it quick. You don't even need to hear me deliver, sis. Rapping like I do it. Come on, man.
He went in. No, he
with
went
no
in.
beat or nothing. Come on, man.
He went in. I don't know how much time we got, but look, they tried to conquer and divide us. Divide what I conquered with my riders and my day ones that was beside us. Politicians need witness protection. They still talking emails. I'm trying to figure how they rigged the election. When I spit, young and spit to perfection. Every bar is a gift worth giving, so the kid is a blessing. Look, the cop cartel started off with Sean Bell. Batons to Louima flew Nina's at Rondell. They hopped out the car, spray mags. It's funny how that badge of honor looking like a KKK flag. The hip-hop community community says we need unity, but they ain't do it right. I'm just speaking like it's you and me. For years, these artists told us they was on the block hustling. The label hustled them when they cuffed all they publishing. Stories how you high and you was getting that guap. Millions unemployed trying to sell me a mixtape slot. Cause see, even when you free, you still trapped in confinement. Cause you ain't really free. You put it back in alignment. Imagine Rakim hit you when you was grinding. Project Staircase when you was practicing your rhyming. You thinking that the stars are in alignment, but he don't really want to fuck with you. He just want a buck from you. That pain from that hurt leave you stuck like glue. But we can really make it right, nigga. It's up to you, youngin'.
Yay!
That was fire. Good.
Hey, that was good. We got a exclusive today.
Let's do it. Any day
That
now,
was-
the sequel coming out. I'm talking Pain on this project, but I got, you know, street shit too. You look at my catalog,
Okay.
but Pain, Mickey Monday, CC, thanks for having me. Love y'all.
Sure,
Shout out to Mag. Hit me in the DM. Let's get some music out there. Let's work, all right?
Gotcha. Thanks.
Most
Happy
definitely.
Tuesday. Be blessed. Be
Happy
safe.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, see you later.
All right, take care.
All right, one.
What?
One, two, three.